Good afternoon and welcome to another headphone review. Today I'll be doing this in a different position than usual, just to try something new. I gotta stop doing the arms. We'll be looking at a Symphones Magnum version 1. I did it again. There will be 4 revisions of these. The 4th one has been released a few months ago, and I have been told that the 4th one will be the last revision. Sadly, since Symphones do an incredible job on these. They have even been said to be the best Grado headphones out there, which I would not be able to comment on since I haven't heard all of them, but I can say they are very, very good. These ones have been made with the Alessandro MS2 instead of the more usual Grado SR 325. The difference between the two is simply that Alessandro is a side company to Grado, which makes slightly differently tuned headphones, and in the same respect the result of doing this mod to them has given a slightly different sound signature than you'd get with an SR 325. As you can see, I've changed, just to go over the original one, I've changed the cable because the original one was too stiff. As for what's original in this, the headband is the original, which is leather, so no point in changing that. It's very, very nice. The blocks are made of plastic still, like original. I'm not a fan of it, but it seems sturdy, and a pair of aluminum rod blocks are both hard to find and usually expensive. The pads are of course original as well, and the drivers are not, and these are not. And basically what they've done in this mod is that, as you can see in here, which will be different from the original, is that the innards are made of aluminum, which have screws on the side here holding the driver in place, and then the gimbal is also made of aluminum in a style that looks much like the Grado HP 1000, which is very, very rare and very, very expensive. And the revision 1 of the Symphones Magnum, which is this one, sounds quite a bit like the HP 1000 as well, which is what differs from some of the later versions, which have changed a bit in sound signature. They've gotten a bit darker, and then the 4th revision has returned a bit to home base, sounding a bit like this, but with a tad more low end as far as I know. To go over the general sound signature of this, it will resemble the original headphone you sent in to have modded, i.e. either the Music Series 2 like this one or a Grado SR 325. However, what will be different is that you now have world-class resolution compared to the original one. The original ones are good, don't get me wrong, but these are simply better, which is of course why you spend the amount of money on them that you do to get them, because they are fairly expensive. But if you are a member of Hoved-Fi.org, I believe you still get a discount. I'm not quite sure. Someone had to correct me on that if it's not that way anymore, but I believe it is. What they've done to the driver is that the diaphragm itself has been, from the factory, it's coated with a layer on top of the diaphragm itself. What Symphones does is to dissolve that layer and then reapply one that is much thinner, resulting in the diaphragm being much lighter, easier to move, and thus giving you more details, as the amplifier in either your iPod or your dedicated amplifier will have a much easier time controlling the diaphragm and moving it accordingly to what your source is telling it to do. this of course also means that if you have a bad source, low quality files, bad recording, whatever, it will be more apparent, but that shouldn't be news for if you're used to Grados, as they all share one thing, and that is a very, very, very prominent high and as well as mids, which means that if you have, let's say, music that is recorded badly, all the jitter in the sound will be very, very clear, because the sound of these is very clear and very crisp, as well as aggressive, because they have some fairly fast diaphragms, especially now that they've been made lighter, and the way they're tuned is also quite aggressive. They have mostly mid bass, not much sub bass, just to emphasize this aggressive sound, which means they are nice for bassy music, but they just keep in mind that it's mostly mid bass you'll be getting with these. If you want sub bass, you'll need, if you must have a Grado, you will have to get the HF2, which is fairly rare since it's limited, but that's the only one that I know which will go down to the sub bass. However, the bass that there is very nice and very controlled, and that goes for the entire spectrum of its sound. It's very, very, very resolved, and generally just a high-end sound as you'd expect from such a nice pair of headphones. They are indeed, it's a very solid build, good quality, not really much to pick at. The only thing I could see the only reason I'd see for someone not liking these is if you just generally prefer a darker sound signature. If you like the Hi-Fi-Man HE500 or Odyssey LCD2, these will likely not be the headphones for you. However, if you like, say, Sennheiser and just want a bit more engaging sound, a bit more aggressive sound for rock music or metal or whatever it might be, whatever your reason might be, then these would probably be the ones. One thing to keep in mind though, coming from German headphones, is that you won't get the precise sound staging that you do with most German headphones. The soundstage is wide, it's very wide and big as you would expect from an all open design. However, it's not that precise. If the music is recorded in a room and you have 4 musicians placed around you at random locations, if you're using HD800, now that's a much more expensive headphone, I know, but just to give an example, then you'd be able to tell exactly where the people are located, how far that way, which angle, and where is the wall behind the person, what is the acoustic properties of the room, so on and so forth. They are extremely good at that. These will only tell you that the person is generally in that direction. You won't know exactly how far away or where the wall is behind him, but you'll know where he is, and it sounds like he's not up in your face, but it is a bit aggressive. Generally speaking, for the price, you'll be able to find these on the used market if you want to, for about $400 to $500, or new you need to buy, of course, a Music Series 2 or SR325 and then send it in to have it modded. I believe that costs somewhere between $300 and $400. The price has changed slightly over time, and depending on whether you get a discount or not. So a new one is fairly expensive, but even for the new price of one of these, I'd say it's a very good headphone, and it's competitive at its pricing, competing with stuff like the Grado RS2. Just to take a stock headphone, it easily keeps up with that. So yeah, if you're into this sort of sound and like the look of them, I love the look of them. They look very, very nice, and the quality of the materials is very good as well. If you like those things, I definitely recommend these headphones. However, if you don't, and you don't like a bright sound signature, stay away from these. They won't be worth your time. So yeah. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any questions regarding these or anything else hi-fi related that I might be able to answer, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'll attempt to answer it or try to redirect you to someone who can. If you want more of these reviews or like it in general, feel free to thumbs up or subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.